Okay. Hello. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today, especially my friends in Vietnam. I know it's like 4 in the morning over there and it's very early, but I do appreciate it. And my friends from other states as well, and my students here. And so before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. So my name is Nghĩa, as you may not or may know. I'm here to share with you my experience when I was traveling in Vietnam. Right now, I'm in Ann Arbor, and I got a Fulbright scholarship to work as a teaching assistant at the University of Michigan. And I just really want to do something to give you a little bit of insights of traveling in Vietnam and how it's like to travel in this wonderful country. And before we get started, I want to do some survey to know whether or not you have been to Vietnam before. So let's see what we can do for this survey. So I have a few questions here, and I would like you guys to answer whether or not you have been to Vietnam before. So let's see what the answers are. Okay, I see some yeses. I see some no. Yes. Yeah, a lot of yeses. Okay. No, 4 no's. Okay. All right. So some haven't been to Vietnam before and some have. Good. So this is a result. And the second question is, so if you ever travel to Vietnam, what would be your dream destination? Do you want to go to a mountainous area? Or you want to go to beaches or maybe some major cities? Oh, so mountainous area. Okay. Beaches. Okay. Yeah, me too. Oh, there's, okay, cities. Okay. And for the final question, so this is for Vietnam. Let's see. There's some mountainous area in Vietnam, especially in the north. So which mountainous areas have you been to? If you haven't, that's fine. You don't have to do this one. Some have been to Hà Giang before. Some have been to Sapa, Dalat. Good. Okay. Mai Châu. All right. Okay. Cool. That's the result. Thank you. Anyway, that's a picture of me. A few months ago in October, I was in Chicago and I was 10 pounds lighter. And now I'm here 10 pounds heavier with this little thing here. And I cannot blame anyone else but me. But anyway, I like it. And so for the agenda today, I'm going to talk about some information of Hà Giang. And then I'm going to tell you where you should go in this city, what you have to try, and some of the best time that you can go to Hà Giang. All right. So the first part is about this city. So Hà Giang is a province in the northeast of Vietnam. It contains Vietnam's northernmost point. And I believe not only me, but also other people, they regard this place as one of the most beautiful places in Vietnam. If you have been to Hà Giang before, I believe you will say the same thing as well. Or if you haven't, I will convince you to. And there are about 850,000 people, which is not a lot compared to Ho Chi Minh City, where I'm living. I think we have about 10 or 11 million people, which is a lot. So just give you some information to see the differences between this place and other major cities in Vietnam. So if you want to go to this place, there are some different means of transportation, but I think the best way to visit Hà Giang is you have to go to Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. I remember when I was there, I mean, I had to fly from Ho Chi Minh City to Hanoi, and it was like 2 hours, I think. And then I rent a motorbike and I rode Hà Giang, and it took me like 7 hours. I was exhausted when I got there, but the travel was amazing. I mean, it was worth traveling. So I'm going to give you some information about means of transportation you can use to go to this place. If you are an adventurous person like me, you can rent a motorcycle and you can drive all the way from Hanoi to Hà Giang. It is about 7 hours or more if you decide to make a stop to take photos or you want to try some street foods. And it is cheap. I can tell. I think it's like $6 a day or $7 a day for a motorbike. But the downside of this is it is kind of dangerous, because traveling by motorcycles is well, it requires you to have experience driving a motorbike. And a lot of my friends who are foreigners, they find it so scary to drive a motorbike or even seeing them, around. But the benefits of traveling by motorbikes, as I told you already, you can do some sightseeing and take photos and post on Facebook and make your friends jealous. That's what I do all the time. Or if you don't want to go by motorbikes, you just really want to you want to sleep on when you travel, you can take a bus or taxi. They take about 5 to 7 hours, and bus is reasonably priced, whereas taxi is more expensive, obviously. But both are safer. Trust me, they're very safe. And obviously, there are some limitations. You cannot make any stops. You have to stick to the schedule. You have to stay on the bus the whole time, and it is hard for you to fully experience this place. So it depends on whether you want to be adventurous or you just want to get there and explore the city. You can choose different means of transportation. So for me, motorbikes are the best. What about you guys? Just a quick information. Which means of transportation do you prefer to use when you travel to Hà Giang and why? You can just like unmute yourself and speak. Yeah, it is fine. Or you can raise your hand. I don't think I can see. Okay, Thảo.
Oh, well, hello, Mr. Nghĩ.
Hi.
Talking about this question, I really into using the motorbike to get to Hà Giang because, honestly, I really want to have a fully experience, like wonderful experiment. Obviously, I believe that using the motorbike will help me capture on the view and the weather without the windows of a car. I believe so. So it will give me somehow a sense of satisfaction.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
and of
that's
course,
why I travel
one
there.
reason, yeah, and one reason I believe that it's cheap. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Like that.
Yes, I mean, who doesn't like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
I have one question. By chance, I know that some of my students, they have been to Hà Giang before. So I want to ask, Ezra, you've been to Hà Giang before. So when you were there, how did you get there? Do you go by motorbikes or bus or taxi? Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, my friend and I, we went there by motorbike. She drove me there. I have no idea how to drive, so yeah. It's like 4 years ago, I guess.
All right. I think motorcycles, yeah. For me, that's still the best. One more, Vid. You've been there too, right?
Yeah. So I would prefer like travel there using bus because it is safer and the ticket is the cheap, and the most important thing that you can sleep on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you want to do and then how you want to get there. Yeah. Good. Thank you. So this is my favorite part because there's so many things you can do in this wonderful city. So obviously you need to have a schedule where you want to go, like place where you want to explore. So I'm going to give you some of my favorite destinations and some of the place I have visited when I was there. So the first place, and it is a must-go destination, is Mã Pí Lèng Pass. I know it's hard to pronounce because of the tone, but this is one of the most beautiful passes in Vietnam, no doubt. And it is about 25-kilometer length, which is about 15 miles. And there's a mountain ledge, which will give you the best view of the city ever. I'm going to show you in a minute. And my advice is when you travel on this pass, because the road is narrow with two-way traffic, you have to be very careful, and you have to stay awake. It's very windy and it's gorgeous. So if you travel during sunset or sunrise, you can fully experience the beauty. I mean, you can use any other adjectives to add to this beauty of the place. And when I was talking about a mountain ledge of this place, this is a mountain ledge. See that? That's amazing. And you can just like step out there if you don't, if you have the courage. So you can have some good photos, impressive photos to show your friends, but don't do this, okay? It's kind of scary. Just don't. It's just don't. That's my advice, okay? And this is a panorama view of the Makilang Pass. You see how amazing it is? I mean, I can use another word, picturesque. That's a word to describe this place. And I think I have a video to show you how you actually drive, because we are like virtually traveling. I'm going to show you how it's like to be there. That's pretty amazing, actually. Yep. You can hear the wind, right? It's very windy, so you have to be very careful when you drive here. That's how you drive when you, sorry. Okay, so the next destination is really amazing. Dongban Ancient Town. So to give you some information about this place, so this place is, I mean, there are some stone construction, and they were built by the French in 19th century, and there are like more than 40 houses over 100 years old here. And one thing that I'm particularly into this place is the musical and food festivals, especially if you travel in October or November. There's a buckwheat flower festival, or you would translate it like hoa, mùa hoa tam giác mạch. So let me give you some information about it. It's like buckwheat flowers. Look how amazing it is. And I really love this kind of flower. And this is a Dongban market, and you can fully experience the culture of Hà Giang people here. Do bargain when you travel here. That's my advice as well. And in Vietnamese class, we learn about bargain, right? One of my students here in Michigan. So I'm going to ask you some tips to bargain later, maybe. And I graduated from architecture university, and I do have some knowledge about architecture. And for me, I love this style. I mean, the houses are amazing. I mean, yes, they're ancient, they're old, but somehow they give me a sense of, nostalgic feeling. Yeah, I feel like very peaceful when I live here, and I just love it a lot for some reasons. I don't feel like I belong to some big cities, just my personal opinion. So that's why I love this place a lot. And the next thing I want to talk about is Sông La Valley. So in Vietnam, there's a very famous movie called Chuyện của Pao. I believe some of you guys are familiar with that. And this is where Chuyện của Pao was filmed. And this place is also perfect for flower lovers, sorry. And if you travel to this valley, there's an opportunity for you to experience the real life of Hà Giang people. I'm going to show you a few pictures in a minute. My student just visited this place, I think 2 weeks ago, and she sent me a few pictures, and I was so impressed. And the best time to visit this is in spring, because all the flowers will bloom, and then you have to visit Pao's house. I remember that Yui and Ezra, we learned about this story before together, right? And if you watch the movie and then you travel to this place, I think you will understand the movie way better. So this is a whole view of the valley, and this is all the flowers, as you can see, they're pretty. And this is a typical kitchen in Hà Giang. They're not modern. They use like normal things. They don't have any electrical stove or anything like that. Some just very simple. And this is a classroom in Hà Giang. And all the facilities are not very modern, to be honest with you, because I have to be honest that this place is rather poor, and a lot of children, they have to work to sell flowers to tourists and help their family to make ends meet. And it is very sad to see that, but I hope in the future this will change. And if you do travel to Hà Giang, I really hope that you will buy some flowers to help them. It's not very expensive and they're pretty as well. So those are the flowers, and they have to work at a very early age. Yeah. So this is about Sông La Valley. And yeah, I have to ask, I'm sorry, I just forgot that you've been to Hà Giang before, right? If I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. You there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you visit this place? Do you go to Sông La Valley?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't because, well, I traveled with all of the seniors and it would be such a difficult task for them. But I really, really wish that I could go visit this wonderful valley in the future.
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah. Well, I hope you can, because it's just amazing over there. So one more thing I have to talk about, it's food. I mean, when you travel, you have to try on the local cuisine. That's what I do when I'm here in Ann Arbor. You know, when I was in Chicago, I ate a lot of pizza over there. And when I was in New York, I ate a lot of pizza as well. So I think when you travel, eating is a must. You have to try on a local cuisine. Okay. And I'm going to give you 4 of my favorite dishes that I tried when I was in Hà Giang. So the first one is rice egg roll. I think they call it bánh cuốn in Vietnam, but instead of using rice, they use eggs. So for the ingredients, it is ground pork. They used to use minced mushroom. There's like onions, eggs. And one thing that makes this dish amazing is the hot broth. I mean, it is cooked from pork bone and it's added with stick of grilled chopped meat and scallion. And for me, this dessert's 10 out of 10. I actually talked about this dish to my friend, to my students actually, and it doesn't really agree with me. Am I correct, Vid? You didn't like, I think you tried this one before, right?
Yeah, like I really love it because of the richness in the egg mixed with the pork. Yeah, with the crispy crust like from the egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your rating again? Did you say that you like it but not the best in your list? I think you gave it 9.
Yeah, about 9.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, it's like 10 because I love it a lot. So this is a full picture of it. You can have different kinds of topping on it. I think this is sorry, something wrong with the lights. I think this is pork, and then this is like fried shrimp, I believe. Something is wrong with the lights here. It's kind of weird. Can you still see me? Hold on a minute. Oh, it's so dark. Hold on. All right. Something happened to my the room and the light just, yay, I just got it back. Anyway, sorry about that. Thảo, you want to say something? You raise your hand.
Well, actually, I just want to ask, like, in Ho Chi Minh City, where I live now, I still see some kind of rice egg rolls here. Do you think there is any difference between here this place in Ho Chi Minh City and Hà Giang?
That's a really good question. Yes, there's a big difference because in Ho Chi Minh City, they use fish sauce, which means it's fine, but in Hà Giang, it's like a different level, like on the next level, all right? And I think that's like way different. And I like the road in Hà Giang better compared to Ho Chi Minh City. It's just my opinion. Thank you for the question. That's a really good question. Yes, that is the first dish. Ezra, I want to ask your opinion as well about this one. Please give it 10 out of 10. Because
okay. I guess for me it's 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of fish sauce, and I don't know. I just prefer if it's go with rather than the pork like broth kind of broth that they use in Hà Giang.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, okay. 7 out of 10. It's kind of sad, but yeah, that's your opinion. Good. Thank you so much for that. And the second dish I want to introduce is, this is a very interesting one. There's a ấu tàu porridge. I'm sorry for my English. So for the ingredients, they use pork legs, and they also use minced pork. And one particular thing that brings out a taste for this dish is the ấu tàu roots. So this is a picture of it. I don't know if we have it here in the US. I probably had to ask some like Go Thuyen or some of my students who are local here, but this root is rather poisonous. And if you don't know how to cook it properly, you might get food poisoning. However, Hà Giang people, they know what to do with this kind of veggie, and they can make it very good. I mean, this makes the porridge stand out. And one more thing is, this will help you feel like if you have like backache or any of your what's the word? I just forgot. I mean, if you have like backache, it's gonna help you release the pain. Yes, and I like it a lot. And there's like different toppings on it. You can have eggs, you can have different kinds of veggies, or even onions if you want to. So I give this one like 9 out of 10 because the taste was really different from from the porridge that I usually know, but I still like it a lot actually. V, have you tried this one when you were there?
Yes, I have. So this is one of the, like the specialty, one of the biggest recommendation I've received from the people, the local people. I think what's really stand out is the texture, the flavor and the texture of this is sort of veggie. It's really creamy, like taro, but it's also very like earthy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit creamy.
Yes.
Like potatoes, but very earthy at the same time.
Yeah. Good. Yes, that's good. Thank you. This is a whole, you can have different kinds of topping on it. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have the ấu tàu roots in a porridge. That's the main point. Okay. I see some. Okay. So for the next one is, this is something that I really want to talk about. The bak me rice. I think you are familiar with rice. Yes. But unlike our, like rice, we usually, in Hà Giang, it is very different. So first, the rice is clean and it is filtered, and then they put some salt in, and then they put it in the bamboo tube with some mineral water, and they will cover one end with banana leaves, and then the rest is like solid. And then they will roast this tube on fire for an hour, I think. The reason why I want to talk about this rice is because it is healthier. They believe that when we cook rice with our our pot or rice cooker, there might be some kind of chemicals from the metals, and it might detrimentally damage your health. Whereas this is more natural and the taste is better, it is healthier. And I think you have to give it a try when you visit Hà Giang. And I think most people there, they consume this rice every day. Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about, for the food section is, and this I'm going to ask my student in the class. So xôi ngũ sắc from Vietnam is like 5 colors sticky rice. So as you can guess, there are 5 colors, and all the colors are associated with the 5 basic elements on Earth, which are earth, water, fire, air, and space. And if you excuse me for a minute, I want to ask my students in the University of Michigan that we learn about this. And I want to ask, see, None, are you there? None? Hold on, I have to, oops, okay. Oh, Anna V, are you there? Okay, yeah. Can you tell me the Vietnamese of all the 5 elements of Earth, if you remember?
Yeah, kim, mộc, thủy, hỏa, và thổ.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Oh, you remember that? Okay, good job. Yes. So kim, mộc, thủy, hỏa, thổ. Yeah, we came for Anna. Thank you so much. So based on the elements of Earth, they make this kind of sticky rice, and they don't use any chemicals to make the colors. They use only ingredients from the forests. So they're like natural base, plant based. You don't have to worry about consuming them. So this is something that I highly recommend you to try. And I think it's not expensive at all. I think it's like 10 cents for one. I remember, yeah, that was 10 cents. Is it correct? Is it like 10? Yeah, 10,000 dong, is it?
Like 50
oh,
cents.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like trying to translate everything. Yeah, 50 cents. Okay. Did you try this one before, right?
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is something nowadays, Hà Giang people, they use this kind of dish for most festivals. They have that, and they have like a lot of festivals, which I can tell you in a minute. But this is something that I cannot miss for any event. So those are some of my food that you have to try. Obviously, there are more, like way more that you can try. But based on my experience, I think these are the must-try food for you when you visit this place. All right. And for the last part of my presentation, I just give you some brief information about when you should visit this place. Because obviously you can travel all year round, but depending on what you want to do or what you want to see in this place, you can choose a certain time. So if you are a festival goer, January and February is the best, because there are like different musical, cultural festivals you can experience. It will expand your horizons of cultures. Is very different from any other places you have visited, I'm sure. But if you want to see the flowers and everything, you want to take photos of the scenery, August and September, that's the best time for you to visit. And October and November, as I told you earlier before, there's a special kind of flower and there's a festival of it. And then you're gonna love it. You're gonna love taking photos and everything. It's gonna give you a lot of experience. Hold on, I have a very good question from Ngan. Can I read it? So Ngan asked me about Hà in Vietnamese means river, and Giang also means river. Does Hà Giang mean river, river? That is a really good question. And oh my gosh, but that's a good point. And can I answer that later if I can? Thank you, Ngan, for a really good question. All right. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so hold on. Let me show you something interesting before we go on. So if you go to Hà Giang in, I think, January and February, you can enjoy this fire dance festival. As you can see, people will dance with fire. It looks pretty amazing, right? But yeah, it looks really nice. But if you look at the videos, just a short video of the festival. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they jump into the fire. But I want to give you some background information about it because it's very interesting. So every year, Hà Giang people, they will have this kind of festival because they want to thank gods, earth, heaven, to give them some prosperous crops. And then they also believe that fire can give them luck and warmth for the coming winter. So that's why they do it like every single year, not only for one day. Usually it is for Lunar New Year, but the festival lasts for a couple weeks. So everything they do, there's a story behind it. Yeah. And that's a festival that I highly recommend you guys to experience if you can. And this is some photos for spring because my favorite time to visit Hà Giang is spring because it's peaceful. I just love it a lot. This is from my student. That's a river. It's pretty amazing. Here's another picture of Hà Giang in spring. And yeah, those are some photos for spring. And what about, I don't know, what if you travel to Hà Giang? Which season do you want to go? I mean, which month would you like to go? So that's a question I would like to ask. You can raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself and speak. That's fine. Okay. Oh, I have to ask V. Do you go in spring, right? You told me, yeah, 2 years ago you went with your family in spring. Is it? Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, correct. So it was like 1 week after we enjoyed like the Tết holiday, the Lunar New Year in Ho Chi Minh City, we then traveled to Hà Giang. Right? So it's around February, the middle of February, I think.
Yeah. Do you like it in spring?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I guess the thing I enjoyed the most was the weather. It was very, very cool, very, chill. And then you also have like the sort of the spring spirit, with all of the flowers and the festivals is very amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I love the winter. Oh, sorry, I love the weather there as well in spring. So I think I'll be back in May. I'll definitely will visit it next year because I love this place a lot. I mean, if you ever visit Vietnam, I do believe that this place is a must-go destination if you want to explore culture, people, and everything in Vietnam. Highly recommend. And hold on, before we go to the Q&A session, I just want to ask, because I have my students who have been there before, I want them to share, especially the time when they were on the Mã Pilang Pass. I want to hear about their experience when they, was on the pass. So Ezra, I believe we didn't ask you that. How do you feel when you were on the Mã Pilang Pass? I can show you the picture again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
So how did you feel when you were on this pass?
Oh, it was scary because first reason is my friend's not a really good driver, so that's the first reason, and the second one is like whenever there a turn, it feels like you can just fell off the pass and die like any moment, so it's kind of scary.
Yes, I I agree. What about V?
Well, yeah, I have the same like feelings as hers because, well, I don't feel as scared because I really trust the driver that drive me through this amazing pass. Yeah, but sometimes at some points, especially when there are two vehicles, they are going on the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So it's very narrow, and yeah, you would definitely feel very shocked.
Yeah.
To go through that moment.
Yeah, I can relate. My first experience was like that as well. And the last person who has been there before, Vid, can you?
Yeah, so I cannot see many sceneries like when I took the bus, but if you go by motorcycle, yeah, I think you can witness some spectacular like sceneries. It was very beautiful, and I cannot like describe by words, but you can see like in the picture. Yeah, it was very beautiful.
Yes, I think, well, you can use different words to describe the beauty of that. It's just like amazing. Yeah. So that's it for the presentation today. I hope I have given you some information about this place. Only when you visit the place yourself can you fully experience the place, because I don't think words can describe this wonderful province in Vietnam. So just visit it. And now we have some time for the Q&A session about this place. So feel free to ask some questions if you want to, and I'm happy to answer them.